who are the Batman and Robin of this Spurs team, and who is going to be in your starting five.
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Happy Friday. TGIF, everybody. Get ready for the weekend. It is here. Hey, what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at who could possibly be the Batman and Robin of this Spurs squad. By the way, are you surprised that I'm going to nerd it up on this episode of Locked On Spurs? I have to, because our guest is going to be a fellow nerd with me. You'll see who it is in a bit. And also, who's going to be in your starting five? We're going to give our starting five and much more right here on Locked On Spurs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Ken's 5 Plus app, iTunes. The list goes on and on. We thank you for being an everydayer right here, coming back to Locked On Spurs. So the scrimmage is this weekend. Can you taste it? Are you ready for it? I know I am. I know the rest of San Antonio is. The training camp is well underway. A lot of good stuff coming out, good vibes, but this is pretty much the standard for every season, every NBA team. And as much as everybody's riding high with Wemby and Spurs uniform, Devin Vassell re-upping for that massive extension, Keldon Johnson still in uniform, Sohan likely to take another step in his development, you got to temper expectations. And look, everybody's starting off 0-0. Everybody has championship dreams. Everybody has playoff dreams. So do the Spurs, despite what Vegas may say, despite what you may think, perhaps what other national outlets may think, that the Spurs team ain't going to really amount to much. But you got to keep that expectation somewhat at a steady level. You bring it up too high, anything short of a playoff spot, you're going to be disappointed. You bring them too low, well, maybe, you're not giving the Spurs team credit. I think not many outside of San Antonio are giving this Spurs team credit at all. You factor in the experience they gained last season, Pop back, Wemby, Devin, the list goes on and on. This team may surprise everybody. It may not be that 29.5 win team that Vegas is projecting. So as you get ready to set sail on a new season, perhaps set those sails maybe at half-mast, because, you want to see how they cook first. Give them until about midpoint of the season. Then you'll be able to evaluate what type of team this is going to be. An injury can devastate this team, and maybe they are going to be cellar dwellers. They can exceed and beat what expectations could be, and guess what? You'll be riding high. Play in or playoffs, maybe. So keep that in mind. Just as much as Popovich tried to temper expectations and tell everybody on media day that it's about wins this year, and even though it's that, Wemby still has to develop like the rest of the team. That development idea is still embedded in this franchise, even though they have a potential franchise cornerstone player. So it's a lot to looking forward to the NBA season, and it's right around the corner. But who are the Batman and Robin? Who is going to be that sidekick? Who's going to be the front guy? Who's going to be the 1-2 punch for this young Spurs team? To nerd it up with me, I am joined by my good friend. He is James Pledger, San Antonio sports star. No, leave it to this topic where I go, you know what? James is going to be the guest. He has to be the guest on a nerd edition of Locked On Spurs.
Well, the question is, which Robin?
Oh, that is true. By the way, who's your favorite Robin? The OG, or you want to go with?
It's Dick Grayson. Dick Grayson is my favorite Robin. I really like Damian's story arcs.
Yep.
Right now, people love the detective aspect.
Yeah.
Of
Talking about Tim Drake.
Yeah, Tim Drake.
Yeah.
But and people now love, but then hated Jason Todd, the Red Hood. But now that he's the Red Hood, people seem to love that Robin even more so than they did when he was basically the same person as a Robin.
Yeah, exactly.
But he replaced the GOAT in Dick Grayson. So
large shoes to fill, especially you're going to be the Batman sidekick. By the way, everybody, James Pledger is with San Antonio Sports Star. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at @IamPledger. He is host of Extra Innings, and he'll be bragging about what he does at ESPN San Antonio. I'm sorry, San Antonio Sports Star, excuse me. Still not used to that, James. Still not used to that. San Antonio Sports Star in just a few minutes. And
one of these days, they'll just roll off the tongue.
Yeah, one of these days they roll off the tongue. But, Spurs have viable candidates to fill the Batman role and to fill the Robin role. So, James, you are the guest. Who is your Batman? Who is your Robin currently on this roster?
Currently?
Yeah.
Well, I think it really comes down to two combinations.
Okay.
And everybody, I think, in unanimous approval would agree, the guy that since we're trying to win games now, the guy that you weren't trying to win games for last year, Victor Wembanyama, Wemby is your Batman. Mm-hmm. He's the number one. He's the guy that's possibly going to win an MVP and be an all-star and all those other great things that we've been missing for the past few years. He's the Batman, and I don't think you'll find people that would argue that point, at least not very many of them. Mm-hmm. The Robin choices you have, I think it boils down to two, and it's the two guys that you would think it would be. It's the two guys that have money. It is Keldon Johnson, who they extended
a few years
the other year. And then it's the new extension in Devin Vassell. And both of their games are showing that they are a good complementary piece to what everybody expects Victor Wembanyama to be.
Yeah.
For me personally, I think it's the guy they just extended. That if you've listened to Locked On Spurs long enough, you understand and know that I told you this was coming right before the start of the season. With all that cap space that they didn't really use this offseason. Everybody's like, why aren't they using their cap space? They've got to get to the floor. I told you, like clockwork, before the season starts here, when they get to camp or right before the actual season starts, they have a tendency, whether it was with DeJounte Murray or Keldon Johnson, to do deals with the guys coming off their rookie contracts into their final year. And they were going to do the same thing with Devin Vassell, and they did. And 29.2, I think, is the average annual value of the contract, 5 years, 146. That is a whole lot of money. He is the highest paid Spur, if I'm not mistaken. And look at what he did last year. And in an injury-plagued year where he didn't even get to play very much, you saw the flashes in terms of a career high at 18.5 points a game and a career high of shooting almost 39% from behind the arc. Mm-hmm. He does a lot of things, though. He is a very good defender. He is long, and when you think about the potential, and I know we'll get into the starting lineup here a little bit later, but when you look at the potential of what some of the lineups they can throw out there, the length of this team defensively is going to be a massive issue for teams around the league because Devin Vassell is a good on-ball defender. Victor Wembanyama, from what we've seen both in France,
the entire court.
He's going to be a nightmare. Keldon Johnson's a bulldog of a defender. Jeremy Sohan, good defender, great qualities, long. They're just going to be very difficult with certain lineups when it comes to their defensive prowess and how much ground they can cover and taking away passing lanes with that length.
Yeah, absolutely. There is no doubt that Wemby is likely the Batman, although he may be Batman year one. That's for sure. He's gonna stumble. He's gonna be going back to the lab, or in this case, maybe back to Lucius Fox, saying, "Okay, what did I mess up?" And Lucius Fox being Popovich, I need this, I need that. So
I think Battinson.
Yeah, Battinson, exactly. Yeah. He's gonna have that scene where Battinson decided to be a glider and just crash into something. That's going to happen in year one, Wemby. The thing is, though, the Robin, though. Well, I can almost see the Robin, whether it be Keldon or Devin or somebody else, having to shoulder the load a little bit more because it's year one Batman. We're going to discuss that and more right here on Locked On Spurs with James Pledger of San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, you all got to check out FanDuel. So snap into the action of this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 on bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. So if you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get on the action than right now. Look, the app is easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options that include spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I go to FanDuel every single day where I check out those NBA futures. How are the prognosticators saying about your silver and black San Antonio Spurs? It's all there only at FanDuel. You want to visit FanDuel.com/lockedon right now and kick off the NFL season and also the NBA season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. And we're back right here on Locked On Spurs with that guy, my main guy over there at San Antonio Sports Car. He is James Pleasure. Follow him on Twitter at @IamPleasure. He is host of Extra Innings. He's going to brag about his show there that everybody has to tune into. You got it. You need a recap of all the day's sports, headlines, news, and more. James is your guy. He'll tell you that and more. We're talking about who was the Batman and Robin of this young Spurs squad. James, could there be an argument that maybe Wemby isn't the Batman because he's not proven yet, and perhaps the Batman, at least for year one, Wemby could be Devin?
I mean, you can make the argument, but I'd find a hard time buying into that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Wemby's going to be year one Batman. That's stumbling.
I mean, there's going to be losses. There's going to be failures. There's going to be things that need to get fixed. But listen to the way his teammates even talk about him already. His competitive desire to win when they did that outing with the go-karts and whatnot.
The ping pong table,
no matter what he does, his competitive drive. That's one of the things that is going to separate him and makes him the Batman. But two, listen to the way they talk about him as a teammate already. I mean, I think he's already viewed as kind of a leader in that locker room, and that is fair. I mean, as a guy that's come in, he's led French teams, he's led European basketball teams, he's led Olympic teams. Like he's been looked up to, and he's still a kid, but since he was a kid, even before this, and this isn't new, and he also understands that there are going to be times where he needs to defer. Like he's going to understand situational basketball. People talk about his basketball IQ already like he's a 12-year pro, and just knowing things and how quickly he's picking them up. And you've got to take that for what it is. And when I hear you don't hear other teammates talk about Keldon or Devin the same way, which tells me he commands a different type of respect already within that locker room, which is what you want from the guy that's going to be A, the face of your franchise, B, the guy that's going to carry the mantle and hopefully lead you back into the promised land of consecutive playoffs and title contention and hopefully more titles for a town that's, now got 5.
Yeah, they got 5. They go for 6. Wemby is my Batman, but my Robin in this case is the OG. Is Dick Grayson. I'm going with Keldon Johnson.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I'm going with Keldon Johnson. And, if we're going to separate the Robins, he definitely is the Dick Grayson of
no
the
doubt.
squad. 5 years experience already. I say he's not this young Spur anymore. He is the longest tenured Spur now. You're going to take that label off. He's not. He's a veteran now. And look, Keldon was playing for the bulk of last season. Devin got hurt, but he got 38 games for Devin. So Keldon is going to be really the one that has the most experience, the most time under Popovich, who had to be the face of a franchise for a while until Wemby came in. He's going to understand what Wemby's going through as being the go-to guy, because Keldon was that for quite some time in the transition and the rebuild. So you got Keldon with his ferocity, his locker room presence. Let me tell you, I was in that locker room last year, and even though they were getting curb stomped, James, and you would think like the locker room would be depressed, if it wasn't for Keldon keeping the spirits up, playing that music loud in the locker room, making fun of his teammates in a playful way, having fun with media there, just having fun with us. I think his experience, that ferocity, that screaming, yelling, Keldon Johnson, who's been there, done that, I think he is going to be a great Robin to Wemby's Batman.
Yeah, I could make an argument for either one of those guys being the next Robin, and who knows, maybe this just becomes a small bat family where you do have multiple Robins. You have a Nightwing that has gone and done his own thing. You have, an Enforcer in the Red Hood. You have your Tim Drake, your Red Robin, which is probably closer to a Devin Vassell. Yeah. You've got different iterations of people that help him throughout along the way. And, that's kind of what makes Batman as great as he is his network of people.
Yeah. I had to slap on a label for, and you can even probably make an argument for Sohan. It's a small argument. That
you can make a small argument. I will hear that one. Yes.
Yeah. That he can't be the Robin to Wemby's Batman. He, again, just like Keldon, he's not afraid to mix it up. He will get in players' faces. He will be kind of an enforcer-ish type. We saw that last year. If it's him, I would give him more the Red Hood label, because he tends to be the one a little bit more. I'll go there, a little bit more nastiness in him. Devin is still silky smooth. Definitely that Tim Drake vibe. You could. It's a bat family, like you said. Lucius Fox. That's Pop right there, bringing all the instruments, bringing all the gadgets.
Come on, Pop Alfred, stop it.
No, Alfred's too nice. Alfred, you need Lucius Fox. We could probably they're a blend of the two. Then he's a blend of the two. He brings the gadgets, the playbook, the adaption, the tools needed, but he also is the father figure like Alfred was. You can go up and down that list. We can make like Zach Collins. I can say he's Bane. He's that enforcer. He's going to be that guy in the middle, just going to rough people up. You can even go, Trey Jones. The Flash, maybe. I don't know. There's just so many. Not Flash.
Now you're just making a whole Justice League.
Yeah, you're making a whole Justice League. You go Trey Jones, and who was like a fast Bat family member. I don't know. Maybe Damian. He's still young, but this is going to be interesting, because I think we're going to see throughout the season, James, is perhaps maybe this Robin by committee. Could that be it?
This is going to be a very committed approach. You hear them from the way that they're talking. Wemby can play 1 to 5. He's a 7'5" guard. These are words that have come out of different players' mouths, whether it's Devontae Graham or Devin Vassell or, pick a player that, Malachi Branham today, there have been a ton that have said, different things about Victor Wembanyama, what he brings, how he changes, the complexity of what they're able to do because of how extremely positionless he is.
Yeah, and it's great. It's a great problem to have. You have the Spurs. You have interchangeable parts that can really complement Wemby so well. Even Malachi. You can even throw Malachi in there as well. Malachi is that that threat offensively. In every level of scoring. He could probably be kind of a Robin light at moments for Wembanyama if Wembanyama hits that wall too. So it is a big bat family in San Antonio. We're probably going to think of other combos to name. Like who's your Clayface? Who's the Moldable? Who's that guy that can almost do everything?
Now you're just bringing villains into it.
Well, you can go like who's can we hit all the Robins? We hit Alfred.
You got Oracle. You've got Oracle. You've got the different other Robins like Stephanie Brown or Cassie. There's.
By the way, everybody, James has gone as Red Hood for Halloween.
I have.
Yeah. He's been right. We know what Robin Healy. No. What surprise? You ever done Dick Grayson? Nightwing? Have you done that?
Not yet. That's on the list of upcoming potential.
And he's your favorite of the Robins, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to make sure. For some
And
reason, I thought
Nightwing's one of my new favorite characters in comics, period.
Yeah. You got to wear the OG 80s outfit.
Oh.
That big collar.
You can't make me wear the Disco Robin outfit.
Oh my God, that was crazy.
That's like asking me to put on the green boy shorts if I ever go as Robin.
No, bad idea. Nobody wants to see that, James. Nobody wants to see that. Hey, we're not done talking. When we get back, we're going to ask James who is in his starting five now that training camp's in the way. What has he heard from there? Perhaps that shifts it a bit. Maybe what they're saying. Well, we don't know. We'll give you my starting five as well right here on Locked On Spurs with James Pleasure of San Antonio Sports Star. Hey, everybody, make sure you get your Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs make you look good. Bird Dogs have that stretch khaki short vibe going, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and your leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Bird Dogs shorts do the exact same thing that Lululemon does, but fit way better. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of that stiff, restricting cotton. Bird Dogs fixed that issue by inventing a cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki, but it stretches so you can get that way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. In other words, it will look like you skip leg day. Those Bird Dogs will make your legs look very fantastic. Bird Dog uses an anti-sting sweat wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry all day long. Bird Dogs are functional for any occasion: golf, date, evening out, pool, working out, lounging, work, whatever you can think of, Bird Dog shorts will work. Look, you want to show off your Bird Dogs right now, go get a pair. Go get yourself some of the shorts. I have them, and let me tell you right now, they fit fantastic. Wear them out, and we got compliments on them. Yes, Bird Dogs make you look good, feel good, and so much more. So you want to go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA and enter promo code LockedOnNBA at checkout for a free Bird Dogs water bottle with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNBA for a free water bottle at checkout. You don't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you. And we cannot forget about Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee, located at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive in San Antonio. That's in the Stone Oak area, 21604. Go there right now. They got a great menu. They have the Alien, which is inspired by Victor Wembanyama, a full can of Red Bull, kiwi, green apple, all mixed together, delicious. They got the OG OJ, which is the Orange Julius vibes back in the 70s and 80s, recreated only at Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Over 300 5-star reviews, cannot be wrong. And hey, that menu, they got dairy alternatives. They have the Mudslinger signature drink. That is a must get, and I hear that it is very, very good. And they got donuts. Get yourself a good big box of donuts. Eat them, share them with your family, or keep them all to yourself. Only at Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Look, you can find them on TikTok, Threads, Facebook, Instagram, X. The list goes on and on. There's no excuse for you to not find Mudslingers right now and check out their menu. And they got a friendly staff, smiles all around. They got drinks coming in left and right daily. They got the UTSA, Frank Harris inspired Sub-Zero drink. They got so many other drinks. Then we got the Brahma inspired by one of the fans. Yes, a fan gave Mudslingers an idea to create a Brahma drink based off the San Antonio Brahmas XFL team, and it's out there. I mean, they are so friendly with fans. They listen to their fans. They help fans create new concoctions, new drinks out there. Go to Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee right now. Open every single day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. Go there right now because life is too short for a bland coffee. And we're back on Locked On Spurs with my main man. He is the Dick Grayson of San Antonio Sports Star, the Nightwing. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at IamPleasure and check out his show, Extra Innings. We'll talk about that in just a few seconds. So training camp's underway, James. We're hearing all that positive stuff we hear every season coming out of camp.
I mean, we didn't hear it last year.
We didn't hear it last year. We heard don't bet on this. That's what we heard, pretty much. Don't bet on the Spurs. But
we're developing. This is about learning and teaching.
Yeah.
This year it's about wins. Last year it wasn't.
Yeah. So, James, let me ask you, who's in your starting five? Has it shifted from the offseason a bit? Is it still about the same? Based on what you're hearing out of camp?
Do you remember what I told you my starting five was in the offseason?
Yeah, I believe you had Keldon off the bench. No, you had Vassell off the bench. I'm sorry. You had Vassell off the bench.
Okay, yeah, it shifted then.
Yeah, it has shifted. Okay, so who is your starting five now?
Because obviously somebody that started last year because of Victor has to go to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
It's just math. There are 5 people. You had 5 people starting last year. You drafted somebody number 1 overall. He is going to start.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to Austin.
No,
he's not following the normal plan.
Yeah.
So obviously there is a starter that has to come off the bench. There are a lot of candidates for that. And a lot of that kind of depends on what you're doing with your lineup. Where's Victor going to play? Is he going to play on the perimeter? Is he going to play in the post? Like, what are you trying to do? Regardless of what he's doing, I want to protect him with Zach Collins.
Okay. So
Victor Wembanyama
and
starting
Wemby so far, right? Those are the
I've got Zach and Wemby. I want to protect Victor just a little bit more. I want to put Sohan at the 4.
Yeah, that's 3.
That leaves Victor at the 3.
Interesting.
I'll put Keldon at the 2. And I'll put Devin at the 1.
Yeah, wow, that is a long, lengthy, defensive, offensive mix there. I mean,
yes. And you know what the best part of that mix is?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. You don't need Trey Jones in the starting lineup because he's a point guard. Everybody there in that lineup outside of Zach Collins can handle the ball and bring it up and start the offense and initiate, whether it's Victor, whether it's Sohan. And Pop even alluded to Sohan's ability to be able to just start the offense and initiate. You've got Keldon who's done it. You've got Devin who can do it. You don't need him. What you need Trey Jones for is the calming influence that he will bring to a second unit that's going to run. When you have Trey Jones leading the way, paired with a Malachi Branham, and possibly
Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham's going to be a part of it, I think, but I'm thinking of Mamu
Skidavili.
Mishkvili,
just say Mamu.
Yeah.
But,
I think he's going to play a part on that second unit. Remember, Bassey's going to be used at some point. People forget that they gave him a good chunk of money last season, and he was showing out before he got injured. So you've got Blake Wesley on that second unit. So you're going to need, with that much youth in the second unit, somebody that can kind of control the tempo when need be. And I think Trey Jones brings that calming influence to that second unit that's going to have a bunch of gunners on it.
Yeah, in my starting 5,
Dub McDermott's going to be probably coming off the bench in my opinion.
Although there's something I think that maybe, I mean, if you're going to get crazy, that McDermott maybe should start simply because.
I could see a bunch of different possibilities, and I wouldn't be shocked to see a whole bunch of different starting lineups early in the season.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm going with Trey Jones to be the starting point guard. I think because it's going to be opening night or just opening month, you need a calming influence to get this team going in the right direction. And then you can start, maybe shifting him in and out. So I got Trey Jones starting, obviously Wemby at the 4, Collins at the 5. I got Sohan and then Vassell. I got Keldon coming off the bench. I think that bench is going to be potent just with Keldon himself coming off that bench. Then you got Malachi coming off that bench. You mentioned Bassey, good point. Also, kind of flying under the radar too is Devontae Graham, an offensive guy. He can light it up. McDermott.
We've seen him light it up.
Yeah, we've seen him light it up. And Barlow could be that guy that's really flying under the radar. He was a raw project last year. Perhaps he's been cooking over the offseason and to be a little more seasoned. So I think that you might see that as well. Also too, I want that calming influence, especially for Wemby. I want somebody there that's really going to be that general that gets him going in the right path. Because I look at this roster, I'm like, Vegas is out of their mind. By the way, James, Vegas went up a game. Now they're projecting from 28.5 to 29.5. A whole.
I imagine it'll go up a little more.
Yeah, it's gonna keep on going up, and I think they gotta go the over. I don't see this team hitting 29.5 or under. I can't. There's just no way. I mean, yeah, this team is primed to go. You saw it in their eyes at media day. What was the common theme? Wins. That's all you can hear. We're winning. We're going to go for
wins and defense.
Wins and defense. And that's what you want to hear. So, and then I think just if they're having struggles offensively, their defense alone will carry them through games. I think that's not being highlighted. And
that's why I chosen the specific starting lineup I did is defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if the offense takes a minute, defensively, they're going to be so difficult with all of that length between Devin and Keldon and Wemby and Sohan and Collins even. Like, it makes it so difficult.
And Collins was one of the better defensive centers last year. Statistically, he was up there.
And so that just gives you so much, at least offensive kind of leeway because of how good defensively they could possibly be. And by doing something like that, you allow that second unit to kind of just go. Like, you allow that second unit, like, Trey, push it. Like, we've been in a defensive battle. Go change the tempo on them and go. And then you can start sprinkling guys back in. Like, Wemby comes back in, you stagger guys back into the lineup until you get your, final 3-minute lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. He is James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star, also the host of Extra Innings. What is cooking with you guys? Are you guys are ready for this hectic moment in sports calendar, from NBA starting to MLB to NFL? I mean, you guys must be just going out of your minds right now trying to catch up.
If you can't see it in my eyes, it's already here. Between training camp, Major League Baseball playoffs, both the Astros and Rangers being in it, the Cowboys being really good, the Texans being surprisingly better than a lot of people expected, and CJ Stroud playing as well as he has. Like, it's been a heck of a couple of weeks here.
I can imagine. What's going on with Extra Innings?
Extra Innings, man, we just got you covered. We're putting a recap on the day, from everything that happened on R&R in the morning to the Blitz in the afternoon, and I just kind of give my final take on everything that we've talked about throughout the day, be it Spurs, Texans, Cowboys. We're just kind of hashing it out on Extra Innings and getting you ready for the rest of your evening, getting you home, as we say.
This episode is going out Friday, so we're recording this the day before. But I'm assuming you're going to watch Loki season 2, episode 1. Like, is that on your list?
This weekend.
Oh, okay. Don't spoil it for him, everybody.
What I've been doing lately is a buddy of mine that lives in Austin. We during the pandemic kind of started group watching things because Disney Plus gives you that group watch function. So, we'll watch it together and then kind of just discuss afterwards on FaceTime.
I want in on that.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So we just send out the group watch and just kind of get our FaceTime linked up like this and just kind of sit and watch the episode. And then when it's over, we just go through our theories on what's happened, what's going to happen, and what's coming.
Nice. Check out Extra Innings. What is the radio dial numbers again?
94.1.
That's it, 94.1. Check out Pledger and the rest of the shows they have cooking for you at San Antonio Sports Star.
SASportsStar.com, and we also do our stuff live on YouTube at SA Sports Star.
There it is. Follow Pledger on Twitter or X. I can't see from.
I get because I always say Twitter first because it's habit, and then I'm like, no, it's X now. Can't tweet. You're posting. Right?
Yeah.
Should have gone with Threads.
Yeah. But by the way, what happened to Threads? That kind of went.
It's there. It's there. I'm still in there from time to time.
All right.
I still tinker around in there from time to time.
Well, see, there you go. Follow Pledger on Threads too. I'm assuming at I Am Pledger as well. That's it. He makes it so user friendly for everybody to catch up with everybody on social media. Hey, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. You guys are the everydayers. We'll be back next week. Catch you up on the scrimmage. What did we see from that event and more? Again, follow us on the Locked On Spurs YouTube page, Ken's 5 Plus app, Spotify, iTunes. The list goes on and on. Don't forget to follow Pleasure too on the X at I Am Pleasure. So for James Pleasure, the X. There you go.
Go with the X.
Yeah, the X. So for James Pleasure, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.